Hello ladies and gentlemen, it's TX141 here with another Ace in a Day gameplay in arcade mode. Today I'm bringing out the Messerschmitt 109 Gustav 6 version. I've got my guns set to 500 meter gun convergence and my fuel load to 30 minutes. Now, as promised from the previous G6 gameplay where it was an unconventional ace at the airfield on the Zhengzhou, I did say to you guys that I would bring out a proper gameplay where I do get the ace, but I don't spend the entire gameplay camping around. Well, not camping, you can't really camp in this game I don't think, but sitting around the airfield. So we're on the map Rice Terraces, I believe, and at this point this plane is at this point when I recorded this game I'd actually got all the upgrades for the plane. I've got all the cannon belts, everything's unlocked, even the throttle, so I've got it at full climb rate. And as soon as you get all the upgrades to the G6, it's a completely different plane in comparison to when you get it stock. I mean, you would expect that anyway because stock to fully upgraded, but the plane can actually take on the role of energy fighter much more easily than when you wear, say, the tier 2 upgrades. You really do need the engine, I think it's the engine throttle and the cover in order to perform well, plus the 30mm cannon belt is crucial to this plane. Because I'm running the Night Tracer belt. Now I'm not sure why in all honesty, but the Omni-Purpose belt does not work for me. The Night Tracer belt on the other hand seems to do very well against hard targets such as B-17s and even softer targets such as enemy Focke-Wulf 190s or Spitfires. Meanwhile, the Universal belt, I found I couldn't even take down fighters if I got off a couple of good shots. It might just be bad luck, but that's the way it is. I'm also using the HEI Tracer belt for the 13mm machine guns. As you can see already, I've done my initial climb onto high altitudes. This is a tier here. I think it's a tier 15, sorry, rank 15 game. He was looking at the scoreboard at the start, as you saw. I think I did spot a Lancaster there, plus we got a couple of Shindenkais, M1Ks, which I believe are rank 15-16 in this game. So my whole purpose for this battle was to pretty much spend as much time up at high altitudes taking down the high altitude bombers, because I had a couple of games before this one where the enemy team always won because everybody would get distracted and start fighting down low. Meanwhile, there'd be a couple of enemy fighters escorting one or two heavy bombers and they'd just blow out the airfield. Now, there's been a lot of complaining I've noticed on the forums that airfields get destroyed too easily, or the fact the game ends once you've taken out the airfield, or it pretty much ends because your ticket bar decreases quite rapidly, actually ruins the game, to be honest. And then there's been a massive backlash with people saying, well, just go for the heavy bombers and that way this won't happen. Well, I'm not going to come down on either side of the argument in all honesty, because it gives the heavy bombers something to do apart from trying to take out the ground targets. As you can see here, I'm about to take on a Year 2. Just get myself lined up. Now, as you can see there, I did make actually quite a significant mistake. I opened fire way too early, even with the 13mm machine guns. I should have opened fire at about 500 metres, where my gun convergence is, rather than opening fire at just under 700 metres. The 30mm cannon, which is the sort of crux of this plane for taking down bombers, is only effective to about 300 metres unless you can give a lot of lead. We still did take down that Year 2, however we did it rather inefficiently, which is the problem. So now I'm diving on this G5N. I take out the pilot, and the best trick with taking on any bomber is to try and attack it from above. Well, that's in my experience, for the simple reason that if you can aim towards the cockpit or the centre mass of the plane, you'll either take a wing off or you'll take the pilot out straight away, rather than trying to chase the bomber from behind, where her or his gunners can actually get quite a few hits off on you and probably take you out or damage you enough to force you away, even if you do take them down. The B-25 Mitchell dived down towards lower altitudes, and he or she is not really worth going after because of their bomb load being only 3 1,000-pound bombs, which are treated as 500-kilogram bombs in this game. Now, moving over towards the B-17, some of you will find that, some of you will consider this perhaps a kill steal, for the simple reason that we do have an M1K Shindenkai actually trying to chase the B-17. However, what I noticed is the Shindenkai has not at this point performed any critical damage to the B-17 and seems to be struggling to get altitude and keep up with the B-17, as you can see here. So I just apply my standard procedure of coming from a higher altitude onto the B-17 and taking it out, as you're about to see shortly. The thing is with this plane, it can build up a lot of speed very quickly, however its manoeuvrability at high speed does tend to decrease, so you've got to have the right balance, and here we go. Now unfortunately the person I was referring to actually starts to type into the chat at this point, why did you do that? It starts even trying to shoot at me with their 420mm cannons. And I'm looking behind thinking, well, I'm not going to go after them for the simple reason I've got the energy, I can fly away and high. They've even typed into the chat, he or she was mine, which, read into it what you will, folks. I mean, I personally think I've helped out the team in all honesty, rather than, trying to just steal a kill intentionally, especially since that B-17 was near in our airfield, and it would have taken a good couple of minutes for that M1K to actually catch up to the B-17. So anyway, moving on from that debate, I noticed that there are a couple of enemy German energy fighters, 2 Focke-Wulfs and 1 Bf-109, chasing our Lancaster. And everyone would wish that the Lancaster would turn around, however it's too late for the Lancaster. So instead I noticed this Bf-109 down below is actually trying to climb up towards me. So instead of diving directly towards him or her, I go for more energy, for more altitude. For the simple reason that I can go into a stall turn if necessary to take them out, as you're about to see, because they have continued to fly beneath me and not drop down to a lower altitude. Our M1K goes in first. Now our M1K unfortunately didn't manage to get the kill, but I managed to finish off the Focke-Wulf, and then the M1K gets taken out by this Focke-Wulf 190. And at this point I am thinking to myself, well, what do I do here? I've got no way of getting away, so I go head on. Now what amazes me with the D13, yes, I did take a lot of damage, however I would have thought that I would have taken a lot more damage from those 320mm cannons. It shows that you can get lucky when you go head to head, however I really wouldn't recommend it, especially in this plane at these tiers. So I've got a Bf-109G, I think it's a G-6 just below me, and I'm not sure what he or she's doing at the moment. So I decide to just follow behind because I've got the altitude, I've got the energy advantage, and I noticed that they're going into a shallow dive which I could chase them into. However, I do not want to give away all my energy, so I just fire off a brief burst of the 13mm machine guns, and I just climb up and away. As you're about to see, the Bf-109s also decided to just dive down, because I think they've accepted that if we do decide to go head to head, I'll probably win on the energy advantage. Well, that's my intention anyway. So I believe I'm sitting at 5 kills at the moment. And this game hasn't been too bad. It's all been up at a very high altitude. We've taken out 3 enemy bombers, we've taken out 2 enemy fighters, and we're still going. Now to note that at the higher ranks, altitude means a lot more than at the lower ranks. I mean, having an altitude advantage over players in general is my philosophy, just for the simple reason it gives you more manoeuvrability and gives you more options. And this Messerschmitt 109 has again tried to climb up in order to match altitude, to match speed, and then take me on head on. Because that's the only way we can level the playing field, unless he or she's got more fighter experience than myself and is a better pilot, which is just as possible. However, they've gone into a loop dive, so I'm climbing up again because I'm using all the speed I have from just flying level and just following to make sure that they cannot match me in a climb fight. So as you're about to notice, that Messerschmitt 109 has now for definite actually dived away completely. So I'm looking at the scoreboard now, seeing if there's any enemy bombers or high altitude fighters that could potentially be up here. And as you can see, I'm checking the airfield to make sure that it's in good health rather than in dire need. And what I'm noticing at this point is the game's coming towards its end, and also that Messerschmitt 109 has flown all the way away in order to try and get up to my altitude. So instead of trying to go after this one plane for the rest of the game, I decide to dive on the Focke-Wulf 190 right below me, and that way I break the need to have to engage that Messerschmitt later. Now the Focke-Wulf 190 decides to make a sharp turn, and I do get off a good hit. You saw, I think it was 2 30mm cannon shots glance on the side of the Focke-Wulf, and a load of 13mm machine gun ammo actually hit the centre mass. However, it wasn't enough to get the kill, it was enough to cripple the Focke-Wulf and put him or her out of the fire. So that's not a kill, however that's enough to pretty much put that plane out of action. And now I'm still diving because I noticed there was a P-47 going for our ground units in the valley just ahead, and I'm going to try and take him or her out before they get the last ground unit killed. I hope the tactical perspective that I'm giving for this plane is a little bit of a better commentary style from my usual manner of doing a commentary, and I hope you guys have enjoyed it. So I take my first pass, and I noticed that I'm coming in way too fast. The Thunderbolt's coming into a shallow dive, so instead of wasting ammunition, I'm going to catch them out on their turn, as you see here. Now unfortunately the game ends, however you'll see I do get the Thunderbolt just at the end. So that's a 6th kill. Unfortunately it won't appear on the stats screen, so this game, read into it what you will folks, it's either a 5 for 0 or a 6 for 0 ace. However, it was a very fun game. We're about to look at the stats. Okay, so what did we earn in the end? We didn't get the Survivor Award, I'm not sure why, perhaps somebody did better than us. However, we did just get shy of 13,000 lions and just shy of 12,000 XP, which is not a bad haul. And also on the stats screen, or the scoreboard, we actually came first out of everyone on our team, which, surprisingly, is pretty good. Anyway, I've been TX141. If you've enjoyed the video, please leave a comment, a like, or subscribe for more War Thunder content on my channel. Until then, take care and have fun in the skies.